Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Latoya back with another video. This video, I can't say it was hard to make, but I can definitely say this video um, has taken a little bit more patience to get all the words together because it requires a level of vulnerability to share these videos with anybody, let alone on YouTube. And so, just to share this information, um, I just want to be careful with my words just because, one, I'm not a doctor. I'm not your psychiatrist or psychologist. I am not a nurse practitioner. I am not anyone giving you any information for you to use for your own medical journey or your own weight loss journey. I'm just a person sharing my experience and wanting to give you good content. But in that, I didn't want to make up any content and I didn't want to not be transparent. I wanted to come with information that, I recognize for myself in this journey and how sharing this information may provide new useful knowledge for someone who is interested in this particular type of medication or this particular type of journey. So, with that being said, this particular video was difficult to kind of come together and be like, what am I going to say? What did I experience? What did I want to share out of my own journal, out of my own notebook, rather? But I did want to come to the conclusion that this particular week was hard when we start by prefacing saying that my Aunt Rosie, my Aunt Ruby, was in town. And with Aunt Ruby in town, it changes my hormones to a degree. So I'm a little bit more, I don't know, I can't say low, but I can definitely say I'm a little bit more chilled out. So, with that being said, the things that I noticed about myself this week were my own food cravings based off of my hormones. So, if you are a woman of a certain age and you are still experiencing a menstrual cycle and or you are perimenopausal or menopausal, I will say that this particular medication may affect your hormones in the way of you having your cycle and or your hormones, how they fluctuate during your time of the month, because just because you're not having a menstrual cycle does not mean your hormones are not having some type of chemical change or reaction like a shedding, even though you're not seeing the actual cycle. So, with that being said, you may experience some fluctuations in your mood, in your emotions, in your thought patterns, not necessarily saying good or bad, but just you may want to notice some fluctuations and take good keen eye to them. Reason being is because I noticed that one thing that I typically do, and I really didn't realize how much of a ritual it was or how much of a practice it was for me until this medication. So, with taking semaglutide and having a cycle, what I did notice is that my food cravings, mentally, they were still there, but the actual desire to eat it was not there. So, I ended up not buying it at all because it was just like, I'm not going to eat it anyway. I'm not even going to waste my money. But one thing that I normally do, which I didn't realize as much as I did it until this particular wave or this particular, part of the experience. One thing that I didn't realize that I did was go buy ice cream a lot. Okay. And I only really ate ice cream during my cycle. And it was just more of a comfort food for me. But being that I'm not desiring it, nor if I put it in my mouth, am I going to really probably enjoy it like I would want to. It would taste a little different. It's not as creamy texture. It's not as the sweetness is maybe too sweet. You know, how I feel about it is no longer the same. So to not go get it, it was like I was having to deal with my girlhood in a sense because that was my comforting since I was a kid. Like, I'm just gonna eat some ice cream. I'll feel better. But not eating the ice cream now has made me have to address different parts of myself that I may have been using food to cope with. So, did the emotional eating, you know what I'm saying? You ask yourself these questions now. You have to take the assessment now of where am I really at with my relationship with food? Where am I really at with my desire? With why I was doing what I was doing. Was I doing it for a reason? Was I doing it on autopilot? Was I doing it because I liked this particular food or was I really enjoying this? Or was it just because it was ritualistic? Was it just because it was what I did? It was because someone else told me to do it. It was, why am I doing this? So it's not just the level of food. Then it becomes, why am I doing what I do? Why am I seeing the things that I'm seeing? Why am I behaving the way that I'm behaving? Because what actually may have been normal to you is not normal to you. And I'm saying that on multiple levels, not just on the food level, but it's just out of behaviors, out of how you actually just function day to day. When you take the desire and the craving for food out of it, when you take the need and the necessity of this particular thing in this particular way for this particular reason, when you take that out of the equation altogether and you really look at why you're eating the way you eat or why you're functioning the way you function, when you come to the realization of it's just a program and I can stop the program at any time, or you come to the realization that this is what someone else told me that I wanted or told me that I liked, and so because this is what it is, this is what I eat. When you become more accountable for your meals, when you become more accountable for why you do what you do, when you become more aware of it and take accountability, then that's when your ultimate change happens. And so for me, with that being said, having to address different reasons as to why I pick certain foods at certain times or why I like certain things. Like I'm realizing I don't really care for cheese and eggs. I find them personally to be a little bit on the other side. I don't know, not quite delicious anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's medication, maybe it's my taste buds, whatever it is. I just don't eat them as much. Now, it doesn't mean I don't use them in foods, or it doesn't mean that I don't necessarily like have it in my refrigerator. But I'm saying that's particular things that I don't take to. I don't really care for it. So that's what I'm getting at. When you start eliminating certain things out of your diet, or you start not having the taste for it, or it's no longer having that same value or worth or degree of desire anymore. You know, the texture don't hit no more, the taste ain't hitting no more, the crunch and the colors is not doing it for you. Like you'll be like, I don't want it, I don't need it. And some stuff you really don't need or you don't want. But then there are things that you realize that you're eating that you really do like and you really do want, but you don't really need it, you know? So allows you to slow down and really be critical about what you're eating and what you're doing. Now, with that being said, I did adjust my rates, my intake last week. So the week before I was on 0.15. Last week I had taken a dose in the office and it was 0.15, but I also added on zero point 0.5. Did I say that? 0.05, I would say. Point 0, I added on to get to 20, the point 2. Okay. I added on to get to that last week. And so then yesterday, I actually took my dosage, and I didn't do a video yesterday because, like I said, I was trying to get my little thoughts together with my good girl here. Um, so well, I took yesterday, and I took right at point 0.2 or 20 milligrams. Am I saying that right? Y'all know what I mean. With that being said, I took zero point 0.2 milliliters. Yes. And then I didn't really feel the difference like I did before as far as going back up. So I feel really normal. I feel really fine. However, with that being said, I do feel where I have a little bit more cravings than I normally would have when I first started. So there is an appetite for me. But again, it's because I figured that I'm adjusting my intake just enough to where I feel normal, not having the nausea and the just feeling off. That's how I felt like the first week. But now I'm able to sleep, able to eat fairly normally. I'm eating about a meal a day, but it's a large meal. Um, I'm having lots of protein, lots of vegetables. I eat fruit, lots of fruit. I crave fruit. Cherries is my thing right now. I never was a cherry girl, like at all. You can give me either strawberry, plum. I would eat grapes, whatever, but cherries wasn't really my thing. Cherries, cherries got your girl this summer. So, um, and I'm also like just Staying away from starchy foods. So potatoes is not it. But am replacing it more or less with cauliflower or squash. So there are lots of different food choices that I'm making that are different now than before. Again, I never really was a bad eater. I was just making bad choices as far as what time am I eating, and or what the combinations of food were. I really am more perceptual and aware of that now. So the ability to maintain weight loss at this point, um, I got it. Um, is really dealing with time and emotions, meaning time management, how you choose what food you're going to have. Are you going to meal plan? Are you going to meal prep? Are you going to have an active plan for getting in a snack or protein or whatever it is so that you're not just like overeating and over consuming? Like, for myself, I can only speak again for myself. Time management has been one of those things that I have really looked at as far as I gotta be prepared for what am I gonna eat. Not because I want to obsessively think about it, but so I cannot obsessively think about it when it's time. It's just, oh, snack time. Let me grab this up. Let me make sure I get all my water. Things like that. I don't have to go to the corner store to get a quick drink. I'm prepared. I got it with me. So, time management has been a really big deal. Preparing my day as far as protein shakes and meals and how I'm going to get all of my calories and all of my food in. So that's there. The other thing that I have really started to focus on is the emotional side of it. For me, it's not necessarily again that I eat bad. It was just more so bad combinations. So it would be that I wanted a taste of everything. So having a taste of everything and combining everything, I can still have a taste of everything, but I don't need a taste of everything. So really having to get particular about what foods. I feel like I'm almost like a broken record in that, but just what foods do I really want to have, and then putting it together in a way that is satisfying. That's a big deal. And for me, that correlates. Some flavors do correlate with certain feelings. So if it's salty, if it's sweet, if it's sour, if it's bitter, if it's hot, if it's spicy, whatever it may be, if it's satiating something, then that's just what it's doing. And so I'm having to really, like I said, put things together that are more satisfying so that I'm not overkilling it and saying, well, I knew I ate this bag of chips and I need to go get this thing sweet now. Like, no, I can do salty and sweet together, but I can find a healthier combination. So, anyway, this is a shorter video this week just because I didn't feel like talking a whole bunch today. I really didn't feel like talking a whole bunch this week. I almost didn't do this video just because I got the same shirt on from last week. And you know how people are on YouTube. I just don't have time for that today. Life is life, and I have so much going on, so much darling, and I just don't have time to go home and change for a video. Sorry. But with that being said, yeah, my world is really changing a lot. So I'm here in a spa. I record in a spa the most, but hopefully I'll be moving homes soon. So yeah, I'm gonna put that out in an energy out there in the atmosphere. New house coming. So I don't know if we keep that, but anyway, talk to y'all later. This one was a doozy, y'all. This was I can't even say it was a bad week. It wasn't a tough week. It was a good week. It's been a great week. Um, but mustering up the energy to get in front of a camera for me is just a lot. And yeah, so I'm rambling now. All right, y'all. Bye, babies.